Hey there, it's Dr. Michelle, and today we're talking about vitamin D and the immune system. So we're going to be talking about vitamin D likely throughout the GLOW protocol because vitamin D is so important to so many different functions in your body. But vitamin D is also one of the most common deficiencies we see in the clinic. So in fact, nearly everyone who isn't already supplementing with vitamin D, it comes up low in this vitamin, and it's really a widespread deficiency, and it's super concerning because vitamin D plays such an important role in so many areas of our health. It contributes to our bone strength, our heart health, and cancer prevention. But today we're going to be talking about the hugely important role it plays in your immune system and the fact that it can be a determining factor in whether or not you develop autoimmune disease. So this is really big. And why, you're probably wondering what causes vitamin D deficiency? Why are so many people so deficient? Well, a big part of that challenge has to do with the fact that it's not so easy to maintain our vitamin D levels with our current lifestyle. Few reasons why is that we're not getting enough sun exposure. Vitamin D is nicknamed the sunshine vitamin because our primary source of vitamin D is through sun exposure. Basically, the sun triggers a process in our skin that produces vitamin D, but what our current lifestyle that we have, most of us work in offices or inside, and we're spending fewer and fewer hours outside. And when we do go outside, we're slathering sunscreen and sunblocks on our skin because we're afraid of sun cancer. But when we do that, it actually reduces our body's ability to absorb vitamin D by over 90%. So if you're living in a northern area where you get less direct sun rays, if you have darker skin, if you basically spend more time indoors, you're really going to limit your body's ability to produce vitamin D. Another problem is that there's not many foods that naturally contain vitamin D in large amounts. And the ones that do aren't super common in most people's diet. So foods that contain vitamin D are salmon, fish liver oil, organ meats such as chicken and beef liver, and egg yolks. Other foods have been artificially fortified with vitamin D, and two of the primary foods that are fortified are milk and breakfast cereal. And those are foods that contain dairy and gluten and a lot of other stuff that we don't want in our diet. So those are pretty much out. I have put a list of vitamin D-rich foods below this video so you can check that out. Another problem is vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. So if you're not able to absorb your dietary fat, then you're going to have a problem absorbing vitamin D. We always say you are what you eat, but you actually are what you absorb. So if you have any gut issues like leaky gut, food allergies, infections, toxins, bacteria, parasites, yeast, if your ability to absorb vitamins and minerals is already compromised, then you're going to have an issue with vitamin D. Also, if you had your gallbladder removed, you're going to have a difficult time absorbing dietary fat. And so all your fat-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin D, are not going to get absorbed. So you're going to want to take something to help you break down the fat, like a bile salt, and that will help not only to help you absorb vitamin D, but also will improve your cholesterol levels, constipation, a lot of other things associated with low fat absorption. But we'll talk about that actually later. So we're going to talk about what vitamin D has to do with your immune system. Like, why is it so important? Well, vitamin D is really like a light switch in your body. It works to turn on and off genes and processes your body needs to maintain health. There's active vitamin D sent to many different areas of your body. So we're talking about your bones, your intestines, your colon, your brain, and your immune cells. They all have vitamin D receptors. And active vitamin D actually binds with these receptors and promotes vitamin D responsive genes, essentially turning them on. So if you have sufficient levels of vitamin D, that reduces your risk of infectious disease by really strengthening up your immune system. Vitamin D turns on key peptides that trigger strong antimicrobial responses, and that basically turns on your army. It lets your body quickly fight off invaders before they become full-blown infections. And that is so important so you don't get sick and you don't get bacterial infections. Vitamin D is so important when it comes to autoimmune disease, because autoimmune disease is basically when your immune system gets overly stressed and confused, and it starts basically attacking your own tissue instead of outside pathogens. Vitamin D can prevent this by promoting regulatory T cells. And these cells are responsible for differentiating the difference between outside invaders and your own cells. So what vitamin D does, it actually makes your immune system smarter and teaches it to identify what's you and what's not you, and it stops you from attacking yourself. So this is basically preventing the development of autoimmune disease. Research in this area is still pretty new, but what we do know is that the rate of autoimmune disease is definitely correlated with vitamin D deficiency, and that vitamin D deficiency is linked to diseases such as multiple sclerosis, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes, Hashimoto's, and so it's really, really important to increase your vitamin D because it plays such a huge role in limiting infectious diseases and preventing autoimmune conditions. So how do you know if you have enough vitamin D? Well, your vitamin D levels should optimally be around 60 to 90 ng per ml. And this can be tested by your doctor during your regular visit. It's part of a regular blood test. If your levels are actually below that range, you'll want to take a supplement, a vitamin D3 supplement. A lot of times you'll want it with K2 as well. I actually included a sheet with optimal dosages below this video because you want to take the right dose per your current vitamin D level. A D3 supplement that also contains K2 is going to be great because vitamin K works together with vitamin D. You can also get vitamin K2 from a multivitamin or from a diet rich in green leafy vegetables, which is most of the Glow Protocol meal plans. So you guys are pretty much covered. But you need vitamin K because vitamin D absorbs calcium, and you need vitamin K to make sure that the calcium gets into your bones instead of your arteries and soft tissues. So you want to make sure you have sufficient levels of vitamin K, but also vitamin E and vitamin A as well, which are the other fat-soluble vitamins, so that they can all work synergistically together as a team. So another thing you want to just think about is if you have a history of gluten sensitivity, of celiac disease, if you have leaky gut, if you have intestinal issues that prevent your body from absorbing fat or any vitamins and minerals, therefore vitamin D, basically, you'll want to take a bile salt and a supplement that aids in the digestion of fats, proteins, and starches. When you do this in conjunction with taking vitamin D, you're going to really help your body to absorb that vitamin D and have optimal vitamin D levels. So since vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, it can get stored in the body. So there is a risk of it storing too much over time. So if you are supplementing at a higher dose, over 5,000 IUs per day, you'll want to get your vitamin D levels checked every 3 to 6 months while supplementing, and then adjust your dose according to the level that you're currently at. So if you want a recommendation for a really good vitamin D supplement, just log into your Fullscript account and look under the Glow Protocol Core Supplements. If your levels are close to the optimal, if you're over 50 mgs per ml, then you can go ahead and just do the Pure Pack that I recommend, the Energy Pure Pack that contains your vitamin D, but also all of your vitamins and minerals, your omegas, everything you need for health besides your probiotics. So it's just a nice, awesome little pack, and that contains 1,500 IUs of vitamin D. But if your levels are below 50, you're also going to want to take an additional vitamin D supplement, and the one that I recommend is also in that same category in the Fullscript Glow Core supplements. So you can check that out there. If you haven't created your Fullscript account yet, you can find out how to do that below. If you need some more information or you want to, ask run anything by me, always feel free to send a message to support or Glow Natural Medicine. And make sure you download the sheets below. There is a handout on food sources of vitamin D, and then the other handout is really, really handy. I want to print that out and save it. It's the optimal dosages of vitamin D, and that's the most current information that we currently have for vitamin D dosages. Now, when you go to your doctor, The reference ranges in conventional medicine can be as low as 20 mg per ml. Your doctor might say that your vitamin D only has to be 20 or 30, and you can see from the handout below that that is not optimal. So you definitely want to say, kindly thank them, and then go home and supplement with some vitamin D. So, take your health into your own hands. Don't settle for what's normal in conventional medicine. Always settle for what's optimal in functional medicine. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You'll know that vitamin D is so, so important. We'll be talking about it again when we talk about hormones, when we talk about detoxification. We'll constantly be talking about vitamin D because, like I said, it's such an important vitamin. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys soon.